Good morning everyone, this is Dulal Sonanath with a very inspiring lesson from class 10 English, Nelson Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom in Simple English. 10th May dawn. It was bright and clear. Many world leaders had been coming to the author to pay respect to him. It was before the inauguration. The inauguration was to be the largest gathering of world leaders there. The ceremonies took place in a big open building in Pretoria. Here the South Africa's first democratic non-racial government was to be installed. On that day, the author was in the company of his daughter Zinani. Mr. de Klerk was first sworn in as second deputy president. Then Thabo Mbeki was sworn in as first deputy president. It was the author's turn then. He was sworn in as the president. He pleads to obey and uphold the constitution. He also pleads to devote himself to the well-being of the people. The author spoke of newborn liberty. He thanked all the international guests. He said that they had come there to be with his countrymen. It was the common victory for justice, peace, and human dignity. He pledged to liberate his people from poverty, suffering, and discrimination. After a few moments, colorful South African jets and helicopters flew over the Union buildings there. It was military's loyalty to democracy to a new government. Then the highest military generals, having medals on their chest, saluted the author. He thought that they would have arrested him many years before. The day was symbolized for the author by the playing of two national anthems. The white sang Nkosi Sikelel and the black sang Die Stem. These form the old anthems of the Republic. On the day of the inauguration, the author thought of liberty, of history. In the first decade, the South African people had patched up their differences with other black-skinned people. They had built a system of superiority also. It was the basis of the hierarchical societies. This system now stood overturned. Now it was the system that recognized the rights and freedoms of all people. This day came after the sacrifices of thousands of people. The author thought of himself the sum of all those people. He was pained that he could not thank them. The policy of apartheid created a lasting wound in his country and his people. This policy had produced great freedom fighters. They were like Oliver Tambo's, Walter Sisulas, Chief Litlis, Yusuf Dadus, etc. They were men of uncommon courage, wisdom, and generosity. The country was rich in minerals, but its greatest wealth was its people. From these people, the author learned the meaning of courage. They risked their lives. They underwent great torture. He learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but victory over it. No one is born hating another person due to color or religion. They could be taught to love. Love comes naturally to human heart. In prison, they were pushed to the wall, but he saw humanity in the hearts of gods. It was man's goodness. It can't be put out. In life, every man has twin duties: to his family, to his country, and community. The author found it difficult to fulfill these two duties. It was because a colored man in South Africa was punished if he lived like a human being. such a man was forced to live apart from his own people, so he was not allowed to do his duties to his family. The author was born free. He was not born with a hunger to be free. He was free as long as he obeyed his father and obeyed the custom of his tribe. But soon he realized that his freedom was an illusion. He began to hunger for freedom when it was taken from him. As a student, he wanted freedom to read and go. As a young man in Johannesburg, he wanted freedom to be as per his potential. He also wanted the freedom of livelihood and family. But soon, he saw that he was not free like his brothers and sisters. Then he joined the African National Congress. Then his hunger for freedom became great for the freedom of his people. The desire for the freedom of his people to live with dignity gave him power. It made him bold. It made him like a monk. The chains on his people became chains for him too. The author knew that the oppressor must be liberated like the oppressed. A man who takes away another's freedom becomes the hated. No one is free if he is taking someone else's freedom. Both the oppressor and the oppressed are robbed of humanity. Thank you very much for your patient listening.